Can he get around his man? He can! Look at the gas! Look at the gas! Try! Welcome to ODT Rugby Chat, brought to you by Garage Door. In fact, I've just run into my mate Gerald Orr down the street and he tells me he's selling lots and lots of garage doors. It'll be all on the back of the show. I'm sticking with my theme, though, of getting coaches in. So I've gone to the top. I've got Pete McIntyre from Southern. Welcome along, Pete. Yes, and I've got Finchy, who needs no introduction, from GI. He's resplendent in his GI colours, which is good. You've spent a lot of money on those. You've got so much money out there. You can spend money on all the gear.
This is old kit, mate. We get our new kit tomorrow. Right. So last day on this.
So JL, he just can't make it. So what's going on? So you've had to step into the breach. Where is he? He just leaves town during the week.
Yeah, well, he's away today working. So
where's he at now?
He operates a car finance business. I think it's called Better Finance. So he's. So
that's what he's doing.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. So.
He should have come work for you boys.
Yeah, well, we'd like him.
How's Craig Investment Partners going?
Yeah, no, good. Yeah, with John Blakey and then John Leslie.
Well, that leads me on to my next question, because how many players you've stolen from all the other clubs this year? Is that Craig's Investment Partners buying all those players? Can I just read you a text out, lads? I just thought I'd. Here we go. This is from you, Tate. This is the heavy at. This is from Alhambra Union. This Southern team should be called the Mercenary 15. More newcomers than Zingaree. So, what's going on?
That could be debatable, because most of the Southern players are up at Zingaree. But no, in all seriousness, we have had some players come to us that are wanting to play. And I did receive a phone call from Hugh. It took me a couple of hours to get back to him, though. But yeah, look, it's hard going, I guess. There's a limited amount of Premier players in town, and if they want to find a spot, they'll go to other clubs. So yeah, it's just the fact of where club rugby's at the moment, Paul.
Very diplomatic answer. Yeah. So from your point of view, what's going on at Greenock? You've got a pretty similar squad to last year.
Yeah, we have. We've kept. We've pretty much kept everyone from last year, and some good additions as well. So I think last night we had 32 at trainings, which is probably our most on a Tuesday training, and it was awesome. So lots of P2s, about 35 to 40 in the P2 squad, and then obviously our Prem Colts. We look like we're going to put out a pretty good side against Southern on Saturday, but we would like a few more players that aren't getting opportunities at other clubs maybe come along. But yeah, we're looking pretty good.
So you've got because you didn't have Prem Colts last year. No. Well, you tried to put a Prem Colts, but then you put them back to junior Colts. Yep. So how many junior Colts teams have you got?
2 junior Colts teams as well.
So you've got 3 Colts teams.
Yeah.
So things are going well. So I'm here. How's it at Southern? It's still tight for players across your grades, is it?
We've got a junior Colts team. Prem Colts has been a bit of a work on.
But you're fronting with the team?
Yep, we're fronting with the team.
Are you actually going to release some of your 60-odd players from your Premier squad? Has JL got to put a new heart in his chest in the last few days?
Yeah. Look, there'll be some that move down into Prem Colts, but from where we were 4 or 5 weeks ago,
it's a lot better.
It's a lot better. It's just hard going at that Colts level as well. So we've worked really hard and tried to develop a culture with our coaches and around the club for those Colts players to feel at home when they get to Southern.
Yep.
The club's got a lot of history, and we've worked really hard off season to get that developed. Not up to Dunedin standards, though, Paul.
No, well, a lot of work to get up to those lofty heights. But you did lose, but you lost a few players traipsed up to Zingaree, but most of them have traipsed back.
Yeah, some have come back, some have stayed. And as you say, we've picked up a couple from AU, probably not the dozen or so that people say. But I think the Prem squad's got a lot of depth to it, and if we can develop depth at that Colts level, the club will be in good heart for years to come. So that's the big thing.
So let's back to you, because you've had just come off a bye as well, which must be a pain in the arse this early in the season, isn't it?
Such a pain. We're kind of lucky we did get a win against Dunedin, because that would have been a long time waiting for a second game. But yeah, everyone's so desperate to play. It's been really hard today trying to make sure that who's not starting for the Prems is either going to start for the Prem Colts or the Prem 2s, because everyone's just desperate to have a game. Yep. So, not ideal, but that's the way it is.
So, but a good start. You thrashed Dunedin a couple of weeks ago. And I was really impressed by your defence in the game. It was unbelievable.
Yep, that's compliments to Marty Banks. He's the defence coach for us.
He never made a tackle in his career.
No, he says that, but he knows a lot about defence and organising, and mate, he's tough on the boys. He was really tough on the boys last night, and we spend a lot of time on defence, and Marty's he's very, very good in that area.
Okay, so Southern, you've won your first two, but you're probably not getting carried away with that because you're playing possibly two of the bottom sides, the way things are shaping. But how are we going? How are we tracking so far?
Pretty good. It's just early days yet. You don't win a competition after 2 rounds, but the second half against Harbour was pretty pleasing, particularly when the passes stuck. But to Harbour's credit, they never gave up for the full 80, and I think they'll surprise a few teams throughout the year as well. So look, I think it's going to be a very even competition. I don't think there's a lot of difference between a number of teams. So it's going to come down to the final 10 minutes in lots of cases, which in lots of ways is good for club rugby. It's a good product. I think if we can just keep on developing from where we are here, I think we'll be in good stead come the top 6.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that. So Finch, get your take on that. So look, outside, 1 through, even say 1 through 7, and if you include Harbour, 1 through 8. Perhaps AU are probably dropping off a wee bit, but 1 through 7, looks pretty even to me.
One game at a time, honestly. This year it is such an even competition. Already with some of the results, some big games this weekend as well. So it's just each week trying to get the 4 points, or even trying to get 5 points is so important, I reckon.
Well, I was talking to Hawk after the Dunedin varsity game. Now they've started with 2. You'll be too worried about that since they dumped you. But but look, and to be fair, from what I understood, they were pretty unlucky to lose to Tyree with a penalty in the last minute. But then they turn around and they were all over Dunedin, but only had a 4-point lead at half time, and that wasn't enough. They needed to be up more. But so look, I think it's going to be really hard to pick teams, isn't it?
Yeah, I think for me, it's just sort of what injuries you get through the season. In season, if you get a couple of your key players that are injured, that could be enough to derail you. So you've got to have this is why you've got to have a good squad. Yep. Of good backup players.
Is that why you've got 50?
Well, 60 actually.
Right,
but I think that's what's going to differentiate teams towards the end of the year is what injuries they've had during the season. So I think that's going to be really important.
Okay, look, one of the disturbing things, boys, I'll have headlines in the ADT today, and Sacconi's written a story on this, and I was talking to the lads at the Rugby Union yesterday about this. No refs. We've been knowing for a while, I rabbited on a couple of weeks ago that they were looking to put match controllers in, and I'm going, well, forget about match controllers, let's just find some referees. So look, from your point of view, Finch, it looks like we're going to kick off this weekend, and in junior Colts, we're already going to be 3 or 4 referees shy, so the clubs are going to have to somehow referee those games themselves. And we haven't even started schools rugby yet, which is still 2 or 3 weeks away. So look, what's your take on this, and what, from your point of view, what do we need to do? Because this is not a referee's problem, this is our problem.
Yeah. Mate, it's tough. I just saw an email come through today, and I've put it on our Prem page. We have to supply 5 refs for when we have our bye,
which is a great idea.
Yep, fair enough. The tough thing is you do have to sit a course in the next couple of weeks before you do that as well. So that makes it tough with the students and people and people with families. But I don't think we'll have any trouble finding the 5. But yeah, it's such a concern, and unfortunately, it's probably maybe a wee bit of the sideline behaviour in those junior grades and the supporters that are putting people off wanting to, unless they're refereeing at that higher level, they're not really going to give up their Saturdays to go and get flogged by the sideline.
So what do we? That's a really good point. The fact the sideline behaviour can be it's sometimes pretty bad, because you just do not want to be getting it in the net from a group for a whole game if you're a referee, because you're going to hear it, and unless you're as thick-skinned as I am, you're going to have some real issues with that. So what have we got to do then at club level to sort out our sidelines?
Yeah, well, I suppose the roping part of it's all, I guess it's up to the committees of the clubs to, make sure that they're patrolled well on Saturday. It's a difficult one, and maybe every club has to come up with some they see as probably being, dare I say it, more referee type than player type. Yep. And certainly my time at varsity, there was a couple of guys that probably they were just going to get killed playing rugby, so we put them down the pathway of refereeing, and it was really good. But we don't want it to end up like country cricket, Paul, you know. When you're bowling, you never get out.
Yeah.
You know, and conversions aren't going over and stuff like that if teams are doing their own refereeing. I'm sure that won't be the case, but it is an issue. But it is a bit perplexing when you see 3 referees turn up in a Prem game and one of them's a controller.
Yeah, and we can't that doesn't work.
So just, they'll have their rationales for doing that, but it does seem a bit
So, look, I'll be doing a article for the ODT for Friday, or just a comment piece from me. So what I'm going to do this week, lads, is I'm going to go and do this 2-hour course this week, just to see what it's all about. I'm pretty sure I'll know all the rules, Finchy, as you know, but I'm going to go and I'm taking it on here. I'm going to go and do it. I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to referee, because perhaps I'm just a wee bit not mobile enough, but I'm happy to go and do the course and report back next week about what's involved, because we've really got to do some work around this. Boys, look, we better move on to our Form 15, because we've got lots of changes. So what's happening here, lads, is we'll start with the backs. Finn Hurley, well, he's not playing, so he's out. So he didn't play last weekend because you guys had a bye. So is he playing this week?
Yep.
Right. So we're going to put Charlie Breen in. What do you think, boys? I mean, have you both seen this kid play? He's he's a bit of a special talent.
Yeah. He when he was playing for McGlashan, and he really shone. He's got he reads the game really well. He's got pace and he's got good timing. So he's real.
Yeah, it's talent. Yeah, no. We tried hard, Noah's old man, Brino, really well to get him there to GI last year. A lot more pace than Brino, that's for sure.
So who else are we dumping? Jeremiah Arcee is coming out. Is he coming out? No, he's staying in. I'm just going to move them around. So we're dumping Mark Rooney. We'll dump Mark Rooney from Tyree. I can't even, he's stuck on the boards. He doesn't want to come off, so he's going to stay on. But no, he's out. So he's gone. And mate, I'm putting this kid in. I thought this kid was the best back on the paddock last week for varsity against Dunedin. Aaron McMurray, apparently last year he hardly played, he was injured all year. But have you seen him?
I've coached him.
He's a talent.
He's rapid, he's quick, and he's got the ability to snipe a gap and take that gap and get him behind defenders. So he's a good, and he's an ex-Dunstan high school kid.
Well, he cut up. He certainly cut up that Dunedin backline. He set up a try for Jeremiah Arcee, in fact. In the first half, we just sliced straight through. Now, look, I've got to drop Zion Neha from you because again, he didn't play. Now, look, I'm putting a winger in, lads. He played against you, Pete, but I've only put him in here because really none of the centres got written up at the weekend. So he scored most of their points, I think. So that's the only reason he's in. Second 5, well, Jake, of course, Green Island went all over this ball. He's
I thought Fonga played pretty well on the weekend. I was saying that. Josh Fonga against Singaree.
Did he?
Yeah, but anyway.
So Ryan Hand, I don't even know who Ryan Hand is.
He was impressive, solid fella at 12.
Yeah,
he cut AU to pieces. Yeah,
I put him in. We move on to number 10, who was Cam Miller. We only really put him in because he kicked the winning goal. We're going to put Cam Burgess in. This is a kid who's actually quite a talented footballer. Was pretty average against you boys the week before. Didn't control the game very well. Had a far better game. Kicked all his goals. He's been out for the best part of 2 years, off and on with injury. But he's a talented footballer. Haven't seen that kid play.
He's one of the Southern guys who went to.
Is he one of yours?
Yeah, he was in the Prem team last year. He's ex-Auckland Grammar. And he was in the Highlanders under 20 as well. 2 years ago. He's actually a
tidy?
Very good player.
So he's still in. Taylor Dale is still in. I'm afraid Green Island are just losing players hand over fist. Yep. He's got to go. Amos Roddick, who, by the way, I was very impressed with Finchy, to be fair. And I think I'm putting in. I must be putting in Lucas Casey. I'm bringing Lucas Casey into the team, so he can go in at 7. Thomas Brock. Is he still on the team?
And you got Jordan.
Oh, hold on, I'm missing one. I'm missing Jordan Dwight. Yeah. So we're dropping him, Thomas Brock. How did he? Because he must have played well the week before.
Yeah, Tom. He's a really good young player. He can play anywhere in the loose forwards and can play lock. He's a big kid. He's a great ball runner. He's a guy I think that will progress through the grades actually, so he's good.
Okay, so the 7 that's coming out, they haven't given me that for some reason. I've lost that, but it was Dwight. So and I've watched him play. Jordan Dwight. He's the ganger, isn't he?
Yep.
He's a tidy footballer. He must have played well on Saturday.
Yeah, he's an intelligent rugby player. He's got a really high work rate. He's very good with ball in hand. Yeah, he played at Otago B a couple of years ago, but he was out with a shoulder injury last year.
He didn't play much last year, did he?
Yeah, he's very good.
Okay, which takes us on to lock. Mitchell Tinnock is going to come out, and we are going to put Corbin Agar in there. I'm actually missing a... We'll just put that there. So Corbin Agar. He only played the second half, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
But he must have played pretty well because Brady said he was pretty impressed.
You know, he made some good line breaks. He's a very mobile lock, and so far in his stats this year, he hasn't missed a tackle. So yeah, like he's been playing really well.
Okay, Ricky Jackson comes out because he didn't play at the weekend. We've got to put A1 in. This kid is good. He's made the New Zealand under-20 team. You'll have had a bit to do with this kid Finchy. He's
not really, but yeah, he's a good player. Yeah, don't really know much about him, but he obviously broke his jaw last year, so didn't play much club rugby last year, but yeah, powerful unit.
And we're going to take out Talialega. He's got to come out, who I was quite impressed with him.
Yeah, comes down from Temuka.
Well. From Temuka.
From Temuka.
This kid finally has got a lot of promise. Hunter Fahey, he's a big lump of a lad. I think he possibly played his best game for Dunedin against Varsity. He was the difference at scrum time, and their scrum was going backwards at a rate of knots. Just on that, the 3 players who have just been named to the New Zealand 20 side, that's A1 Lalifi. We just talked about Dylan Pledger and Josh Fonga. They've all made that New Zealand side. Lads, I'm always a bit disappointed with that. I would have thought we would have had more players in that team.
Yeah, I thought there would have definitely been a couple of Shark boys that could have been in that team. I think maybe losing that first game against Canterbury and
didn't help us.
And then having 2 easier games, they probably didn't get to go up against the opposition players they needed to. That may count against them, but I think that's only I think they've probably still got an opportunity to make the World Cup. That's just that first part they haven't made it.
But it's interesting. And boys, let's also talk about who's available from the Highlanders this week, and it's quite interesting. Tom Sanders is going to play for AU. Finn and Jake are both playing for GI. The big news is Reece Patchell is going to play for Kaikoura, which means he ain't going to Australia. And that's a surprise.
Yeah, big surprise. So yeah.
So they've left it to Cam Miller and AJ Faleafaga.
Which is awesome.
Which is good.
I've heard Dunshaw's going to play for AU. But
he is. Yeah, we gave them the OK. He's going to play 40 minutes because
which I think
had a bye,
which I think is great because
no,
just on that, Mitch Dunshea was down to play for a varsity this weekend. He's been attached to the varsity club, but they've got a bye this weekend, so they've worked it out so that he goes and plays for AU because Southern have stolen all their players. Yeah. So he's gone there, and you guys have said that's fine.
They contacted us on Tuesday, and it's like, well, Mitch needs to play, doesn't he? So.
Well, they need him, but
we actually need a lock, but it was probably a bit tough that week that he come to us.
So and he needs to be back. The way they're going, he needs to be back desperately.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we've got Finn Hurley, we've got Hayden Michaels is playing for Kike, Reece Patchell playing for Kike, and Will Tucker playing for Kike. Jesus Christ, 3 of them. Aiden Johnson playing for Southern, but you don't. They've got Josh Teamy. You don't think Josh is going to play?
No, Josh won't be playing.
He's not going to play. No. And then Max Hicks is. I would have thought they'd have taken Max Hicks to Australia, but he's playing for
Singers.
He's playing for Singers, and we talked about Dunshea.
It's awesome that all these guys are. I think Jamie Joe is pretty keen for them to play club rugby, and it's awesome that these guys are being released. Well, and we're knowing quite early.
Yeah, I would have been like. I mean, I'm still staggered that they had the bye week last weekend, lads, and none of them played.
I guess it was a team bonding thing they would do. They usually do that, don't they?
They kicked them all out. But yeah. Anyway, right, let's move on. We better move on. I'm getting told we're running out of time, so let's move on to the games this weekend. So let's talk about. You boys are up against Tyree. You're playing away. Tyree are pretty small, as we know. You'll be reasonably confident of getting a victory. But what are you got to do to beat? What are you got to do to beat Tyree?
Well, it's always hard out there, and Tyree are pretty well drilled. They're always good over the ball. Their loose forwards are good over the ball. So we're certainly not underestimating Tyree at all. we just have to get our set piece working and get our key guys into the game and get across that advantage line. But yeah, it's always been difficult out there. But yeah, I mean, we'll have a good side to play against them. But yeah, we're just not underestimating a Tyree side at Peter Johnson.
Yeah, I'm just worried about them now though, because they've now lost 2 props. They lost Cam Allen McNeil with a broken ankle, and I think they lost another one of their props up at Zingaree on Saturday. So they'll be starting to struggle. Who are you picking in that game?
Yeah, I was really impressed with Southern in the weekend. Their loose forwards with Conrad, running a marquee ball in hand. So yeah, wide Southern are 2-time Premier champs, I reckon, in the weekend. So haven't seen Torrey play yet. I hear they're doing a bit of a rotation policy in the first 3 weeks. So yeah, I'm picking Southern. Okay,
let's come on to your game then, because you're at home. You've got AU coming out. So what have you been focusing on with AU this week?
For us, is like just trying to keep the excitement down. It's not easy when you see a team that has been thrashed the week before to make sure our expectations, we've got to do the good stuff first, and because everyone's just so excited to play. So one, it's hard to pick the team at the moment, and two, it's just we've just got to do the basics to ensure that we have plenty of ball.
So you're GIAU, you'll be picking GI to win that?
Sorry, Hugh. Yes.
Yeah. That's another nail in your coffin. So back to you. Harbour at home to Kike, and Kike have got half the half the Highlanders team playing for them. So Kike should be too strong for Harbour. You would have
I think they'll get over Harbour, but Harbour, they're playing a full 80 minutes. If they can get their discipline under control, they'll be in the game for a period of time. But I think Kike will probably run out the last 20 minutes stronger.
Okay, and you on Harbour, Kike?
Oh, Harbour down there, and the weather's supposed to be terrible, so no one likes playing down at Harbour and that. But I was really impressed with Kike as well. Like they were very well drilled against the AU. The 12 or 15 minutes I watched at the start. So I think Kike. I think they might have lost Slade McDowell for a bit, but
yeah, I heard he come off, looked like a reasonable
bad hammy or something. But yeah, no, with those boys playing full 80 minutes, that's a pretty strong Kike team.
And the final game in Zingers, they've won 2 in a row with a last-minute penalty to Sean Driver. It must be paying him a fortune, Sean Driver, because he's the go-to guy. Admittedly, the kick was right in front. I understand the one on Saturday, but Zingers Dunedin, you've got to give Zingers a chance, don't you?
Yeah, they'll be their confidence will be way up, won't it? 2 wins in a row, 2 last-minute wins as well. So yeah, I'm picking Dunedin though.
Zingers Dunedin. You won't be picking Zingaree.
Well, no, I've come on as a sponsor for Dunedin, so.
Oh, that's right. Congratulations.
So
good work.
So I'm Dunedin over Zingaree. Yeah.
Okay, look. So there it is. Look, on those games at the weekend, Tyree versus Southern. Look, I agree with the lads. I think that Southern will just be a bit strong for Tyree. Harbour and Kike. Yeah, you've got to take Kike, especially with those Highlanders in that team. I think they'll win comfortably, but I think it'll be late in the game. I think GI will just be too strong for AU, unfortunately for the AU boys. And in that Zingaree Dunedin game, I've picked Zingaree to win this competition, but I'm not tipping them on Saturday, as you'd imagine. I'm picking Dunedin to win that, but Dunedin are not travelling that well. It's early days. They'll be looking to probably improve on what they did against Varsity, but I'm picking Dunedin to perhaps get up late and win that game. And just remember, just click onto the ODT website on Saturday. We've got live scores of all the games, and we'll give you an update before the game at half time, and we'll give you a wrap at full time. Just go to the ODT website. It'll be on the homepage. And we'll be back with you again next week. Look at the gas! Look at the gas! Try!